She didn't shave under her arms there. What is that, Folka? Standing in front of our cottage. They named the cottages. This is Darbuka. So you'd find your way home. You had the sections, and here we're leaving. This might have been the club where they had us getting ready to go about 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon for our flight back. And the plane didn't make it. Our plane we were supposed to take back didn't fly in and let off the people that were coming in, the round trip the plane usually makes with these charter flights from Club Med. So they took our bags back to the room, and we had dinner at the club, and they let us sleep there till about 3 o'clock in the morning. Then they woke us up again, gave us a breakfast, and plane took off about 5 o'clock. A little bit out of sequence there. That's Sabina flight. I guess we took us to the airport, then they brought us back again, and here we are back at the ruins. See, it's 1975, so Gordon is all of 39 years old there, approaching the traumatic 40s, trying to get the last bit of life in before it's all over. And here I am, I'll be turning 55 this September as I make these movies. It's 1991 in Germany, and that's the end of this tape. I'll be shutting this off. There's Folka looking very thin and beautiful in Sardinia. This is Club Med, Sardinia, July 1975. Santa Stefano. It was Folka in front of our bungalow area. This is the scenery. Here she is in front of the bungalow in her bikini bathing suit. Again, some very green, beautiful scenery here. Not the rocks, of course, but quite nice gardens. And this was when I was having terrible back pains and problems. I had my spinal surgery done after this trip. We tried to get as close to the dining room and the main recreation hall as we could. So our bungalow, which is situated right there just by the walkway that took us to the main dining room, and also close to the beach where we were going to do scuba diving. So Folka's walking around. We're walking around investigating the area. Architecture fits in again with the structure of the land, the rocks, and the native architecture. Sardinia is an Italian possession. It's an island in the Mediterranean, about a couple hundred miles off the coast of Italy, maybe 100 miles, halfway between Italy and France. Some of the members got all dressed up. There's GBF looking very dapper and a little mustache. Hairline is receding quite nicely. We must have taken that small camera. This doesn't look like it might not have been taken with the Ashika. People going up into the hills. There was some classic music areas there. And people would find little retreats and snuggle themselves up into the hills between the rocks and listen to classical music. Beautiful natural rock terrain setting, just a wonderful time to relax and enjoy the sunset and the music and get away from civilization. Before the fantastic array of gourmet foods and wine that's served at dinner time. We're at the Café du Port, right next to the tennis courts that you see here. The annex restaurants are a feature at all Club Meds for a nice, quiet, romantic dinner for lovers only. It was on the other side of the complex. And here we're seeing the rehearsal for the July 14th Bastille Day, French Revolution Day. The GOs in their red, white, and blue costumes, color combination of the Revolution. You had to have red and white. There's Folka with a red and white wristband on for the teams. They always have these sporting events every week, the white team and the red team and the blue team. And this week everyone had to have a red and white banner on in order to be served in the dining room. That's the scuba boat down there. Folka's going down to see me off. I think she's going to take some movies of me getting into my scuba gear. This is where I learned to scuba, despite the bad back. In fact, it was really a blessing to get into the wetsuit. And this is probably where I discovered that having a wetsuit material, the whatever that material is called, that rubberized capability next to your skin, keeps your body temperature in, makes you sweat a little bit where it touches the skin, and keeps you warm. And we're going off for the first scuba dive. These are the bungalows and the sort of a sight from around the club, and there it is looking into the hills. How beautifully done it is. We met Walter and Helga here from Stuttgart. He had driven his Opel GT, a real nice Opel GT, all the way from Germany to Italy and shipped it to Sardinia. And as he was going to try to ship it to someplace around the area, or to La Maddalena, that's where we're... Oh, we just took a boat across the bay from Club Med to La Maddalena. You still have that wraparound, that Pareo, Folka? Like a Mexican. No, we hadn't been to Cancun yet, so it couldn't have been from Cancun. There's the main church of La Maddalena. This was a little village of 5,000 to 10,000 people, just on the bay. From the shores, north shores of Sardinia, you can see the southern shores of Corsica. Corsica is a French possession, about 20 miles, maybe 15 nautical miles away. That's another green bikini that she's wearing there, and we're going back to Club Med after a nice day of shopping in La Maddalena. They had these shuttle boats going back and forth from the club to Sardinia, the mainland, about every hour. I guess that's Folka taking a swim. And there's some of the troops again getting ready for their rehearsal. I'm going to turn this other light off for a minute. Can't tell if that makes a difference or not, but there's some of the sailboats. They didn't have any windsurfing here, so we did scuba, or I did scuba diving. That's the couple from Germany that we met, Walter and Helga. And anyway, as he was starting to ship his car across on a boat, it started slipping off of the parking area where it is. His brakes failed, and the boat slid all the way into the water. So we had to hire a crane or some contraption to lift his boat out of the water. Of course, it was all soaked, and the motor was injured badly, so it cost him a few $1,000s to get his car put back in shape so he could drive back to Germany. And they thought they were going to be saving money by driving down to Sardinia rather than flying. Little do we know sometimes. And here's the revolution party going on. The various teams are organized there by group. You know, the rebels might be one. That looks like a lot of the girls are the dining room ladies that take you to your tables at dinner time. And this is another group. A lot of smoke and fireworks, and quite exciting sounds. And there was an opera, or not like a rock opera that had been playing, a revolutionary rock opera in Paris, and they had the soundtrack. They played the soundtrack and lip-synced the songs to the play that was a big hit in Paris about the revolution, about this time. There's some of the edicts and asking for their freedom from King Louis and Marie Antoinette, who will get theirs by the guillotine later on in this show. Took them days to build this set, and hundreds of man-hours. There's a guy passing out the pamphlets, and here's the Battle of the Revolution going on. The peasants are fighting and getting shot. Red, white, and blue pants on the guy.